Welcome back, everybody. We are the rest of the field. My name is Jason Gorman with Chris Weiler, Justin Matzik. We call him Deke, and Ben Christensen. We're coming at you here on the weekend, on Sunday. So happy Sunday to everybody. And we're getting right into an all-time superhero draft. So on the weekends, we bring you a draft only, no real other content, but just a draft. And this one came as a suggestion from Becky King, a listener out there who sent in a few different suggestions, and we got a few more the other day from Dave Steinbach. And as you notice here, that the draft order is not picked, and that is, I guess, on purpose. And that is because Dave Steinbach also suggested we do a live on-air draft order pick or reveal, so that none of us, add a little bit more drama to it, and none of us can really pre-plan. So today we're doing all-time superheroes, so it's exactly what it looks like, and not one type of superhero. It's kind of open to all of them. I don't know if anybody, guys, do you have any questions about anything in particular about what qualifies or doesn't qualify as a superhero?
I do, like Ghostbusters. Superheroes?
No.
No? It's just got to be a comic book superhero, basically. That's it.
I would think so, yeah. I wouldn't say somebody
Okay.
that has superpowers, because Batman doesn't have superpowers. He just has a lot of money. So yeah, I guess comic book. Although there's probably Ghostbuster comic books too.
So no Ninja Turtles. Like, we're just stricken to straight individual superheroes.
Essentially, probably Marvel and DC for the most part. I don't know that there's going to be many outside of those two universes. Is that what everybody else is thinking? In bed?
Yeah,
I would say that's what I was thinking, yes.
Marvel, DC. Okay. So let me share my screen here this is how I typically do our random draft order. And you guys let me know that that's up there on your screen.
It's loading.
Still showing just a picture of you.
It's a beautiful picture, isn't it?
Oh, it looks good. There, we got it.
Okay, perfect. So this is fantasyfootballnerd.com, and they basically, what I do is I just Google random draft order generator, and this is one of the options. So I always click on the Fantasy Football Nerd, because I can come here and I can change the number of teams so that I get exactly what I want. Some of the other ones, they're kind of preset at 10 or 12. So what was the order of our last draft, guys? Do you remember? Was it Chris, were you first?
I believe I was, yeah.
Chris, Ben, Deke, Jason.
Ben?
Yeah, that sounds right.
And I put them in as the order of our previous draft, just so that it obviously is going to change somewhat, so we're not in the same positions. Deke. And,
I hope it's the same.
Jason. Now, it has never been the same, so we'll see. And then we just click on randomly generate the order.
Looks the same to me.
Oh, you know what? It only keeps the ones. Oh, there it goes. Okay. I was going to say it doesn't pull up the next screen. So we're going Deke, Ben, Chris, Jason. So I stay the same. Deke's pumped up. He's on mute, but he's excited.
Let's go. One time.
Let me show the boys here for a second, and I will get that draft order. Do you guys remember what it was? It was Deke, Ben,
Chris, Jason.
Okay.
Chris, tough spot. 3 is always a tough spot.
So,
Yeah.
let's see here.
With my drafting ability, it doesn't matter.
So Dave, thanks for that suggestion. I think that will be cool. I'll try to switch it up in how I do that reveal, whether it's names in a hat or having you guys, pick numbers or whatever it is. We'll think of some different ways to randomly generate that order. But this is how the draft board looks. Hopefully you guys can see this. Maybe I can get some confirmation from my guys. But it's going to go Deke, Ben, Chris, Jason, drafting all-time superheroes. So we're good on that. So with that, we'll get started. And
Then go ahead.
Pull up. Well, let's let Deke go first.
Oh, we all know.
Batman.
Yeah, I think we knew Batman was coming
Yeah, Not too tough to figure out that Deke was going to go with Batman. He has him permanently attached to his flesh. So
Christian
yeah,
Bale.
Christian Bale. So let me ask you, Deke, is that your favorite Batman, Christian Bale, or do you go old school?
No, Christian Bale.
Okay.
Dark Knight series is. I mean, the other ones are more comic-y.
No nostalgia for Keaton.
I like those. They're just more the comic ones into movies. The Dark Knight series with Christian Bale's. I love it. I actually went to the first one with Ben at the movie theater, and I remember us leaving that place, and we were like, "Man, that was an awesome movie."
Yeah, those were great.
Yeah. So, but you mentioned it earlier, Jason. The biggest reason why Batman in general is my favorite superhero is because he does not have superpowers. He just creates things and uses Alfred and Morgan Freeman and his scientists to create a bunch of awesome cars and gadgets.
He uses Morgan Freeman. I think he used it, whatever Morgan Freeman's character was in research and design.
Well, yeah, right. So that's why he's my guy.
Let's go around the horn with this one. Deke's taking Christian Bale. Ben, are you old school or new school? Are you going Robert Pattinson, who I think is supposed to be the new Batman? Ben Affleck?
No, if I had to pick a Batman, it would probably be Bale. Keaton's very close. I thought the movies were better, but I like Keaton.
No Clooney?
Oh, Clooney? Yeah, Clooney he's not bad. None of them are bad. I don't think any of them are. I mean, I'm a huge Batman fan, so I love them all, but and then let's not downplay the Joker in any of these movies. That's like almost an equal, equal part.
We might have to follow this up with an all-time villain draft too, because I think there's a number of villains that we can pick from that might be kind of fun as well. So, Chris, old school, new school, who's your favorite Batman?
Yeah, I would stay with Bale as well. I think I don't have a bias towards any of them, but it's just something that I know well enough. Like, he's the only one that I truly have watched.
Yeah, oddly enough, last night I watched, or yesterday, I watched Justice League. So Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Cyborg, and Flash are all in that one. And not the greatest movie, but I think what it made me think of was the Christian Bale movies, the Dark Knight series that you're talking about. Had they done the Justice League, same director, same type of vision that was in those Dark Knight movies, that would have been a pretty kick-ass movie with Justice League, but they just weren't there yet in terms of the DC universe. So, obviously Batman had changed from Christian Bale to Ben Affleck, and it is what it is. It was enjoyable, just not an overly great movie, I guess. So enough about Batman. Ben, where do you go with the number 2 pick now that Batman's off the board?
I am going with another man, and that man is Spider-Man.
Ooh, jumping super, going for Spider. So with the number 1, would you have taken Batman as well, or did you always have Spider-Man in your sights?
No, if Batman would have fallen, I think he would have been number
not
1
fallen.
for me.
Had
as
you
soon as
had
Deke was the overall pick. Oh yeah, probably would have been Batman.
Okay,
yeah.
Gotcha. All right, but you're going with Spider-Man. So do you like the direction they've taken Spider-Man in the recent Marvel Universe movies with Tom Holland?
Yeah, he's been entertaining. It's nice to see him in, as part of the bigger group in all the Avengers movies and things like that. I also thought his solo movies were pretty good. Obviously not with Holland. He's had a few solo movies now, but the original stuff was really good to me as well.
And who played him then?
Toby. Wasn't Toby
Maguire?
Yeah.
Yeah. Topher was was he Spawn?
Venom.
Yeah, I always get them confused. So, okay. I don't think a bad pick there. So, Chris, that takes 2 big guys off the list. Are you also going with a man, and not man versus woman, but with man in the name? Are you going with the superest of them all? Or are you going a different direction?
I am going with a man in the title. We are not going Superman, though. We are going with Iron Man.
Wow.
Okay, all right. So
Superman
maybe some
gets
recency
no love
bias.
from this panel.
Right. I'm loving it because Superman falls all the way to me. So, Chris, just a little insight into where you're at with Iron Man. Is it because of the Avenger movies that you kind of fell in love with Iron Man, or what's the deal there?
Yeah, I like Iron Man. The technology is always great. It's similar a little bit more to Batman in essence. So it's a little bit more modern, I think. I think Superman is definitely more popular. I just, my voting doesn't get a lot of votes, so we're going with what we like.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Iron Man gets more votes than Superman. There have been more, especially recent movies with Iron Man in them, and I think he's a very likable character in the Avenger movies. So I think that'll work out good for you. Similar to Batman in the sense that he does have his life system, right? That is not really a superpower, but he's a genius in his own right. So he's able to create things that make him Iron Man that work with his life source. I forget the technological term for what he did to himself, but Tony Stark, a good one at pick number 3 as Iron Man. So that leads it then to me at number 4. I back-to-back picks here. Let me just check the board here. My board that I was working on.
Oh, are we gonna possibly go the whole first round without Superman?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think Superman's he's either 4 or he's 5. I'm not going to let him go. I just kind of want to make sure. I don't think it matters to me if he's first pick of the second round or last pick of the first round. So I mean, I may as well just say I'll go Superman with the number 4 pick, and I will follow that up with the 5th pick. I have a real decision to make on whether or not I think somebody's going to last all the way to me, and I don't think that he will. But I also can't let this one go by. So I'll go Captain America. I mean, what's a better duo at 4-5 than Captain America and Superman? So I'll go that route. I get a little DC. I get a little Marvel in my first 2 picks. I'm happy with it. I can't say anything. I hope that this guy or gal lasts to me. I don't pick again until pick 12. So it's going to go from there to Chris, the number 6 pick, his second overall. Chris is checking out the leaderboard. Any changes in the Charles Schwab leaderboard?
Yeah, quick update. Justin Thomas birdies the first hole, ties the lead for Xander. So we got a little bit of a competition here between me and Gorman. So that's kind of sweet.
So if you weren't able to tune into our week-long episode, and that was episode 9, we picked 2-man teams for the Charles Schwab challenge, and we are going to base the winner off of total money earned by the 2 participants on each team. So Chris having Xander Schauffele, and I have Justin Thomas on my team that are up near the top, and then he has Rory McIlroy, and I have Brooks Koepka. So it's going to come down to where they fall into place. We had a quick 2-day poll. Couldn't let the poll go for too long because obviously they were competing, and it would be really easy to vote who you thought was going to do better based on the first couple days of competition. So that poll itself is over, but we'll see who ends up finishing out the Charles Schwab as the winner, and then we'll give everybody an update on Wednesday or Thursday whenever we come out with that weekly episode. So Chris, number 6 pick, second overall, which superhero are you going with?
This one's a big decision because I'm not sure they'll fall to me, and I definitely want them on my team. The city that this superhero is from is actually only 7 miles from my house. It's called Wakanda. And when Black Panther came out, this little city of like 12,000 people had to turn off their phone and their city phone because so many people would call Wakanda to check and see if they could reach the Black Panther. So
I don't know that I
Black
knew that.
Panther is number 6.
I
Great
didn't know
pick.
that. And it's pronounced the same way in Illinois?
Pronounced the same way. We have an all-school deal with them at East Bay, or we used to. It was my first one when we moved to Chicago, and then literally a year later, Black Panther came out, and it was all over the news. It was pretty cool.
That's funny. I didn't know that. I didn't know. You'd think you'd hear a lot about that, but maybe a little isolated down here in Georgia. A good pick there. So that takes us to Ben. Ben, your second pick, 7th overall.
I am going to take Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
Wolverine.
Best of the X-Men.
Yeah, we touched on the X-Men. Lots of, maybe not X-Men, but a lot in that. I mean, they still fall in the Marvel world, do they not?
Yes.
Yeah. Interesting that they weren't necessarily part of, not the Avengers, but like when the Avengers brought in everybody, right? It was all this interconnectivity in the end game that X-Men weren't. I mean, that's a whole nother thing to unwrap. So good pick there. So you like Hugh Jackman as Wolverine?
Yeah, he did a very good job. I was actually kind of sad that the last one that he did was going to be the last one. So
it was sort of a heavier movie, that last one, but a very good one. Yeah, I like those movies as well. So Deke, comes to you. Give me your 8th pick. Your second pick, the 8th overall, and then we'll show the board for everybody, and then come back to you with your 9th pick. Yeah, get that neck cracked, get it in the right spot.
Great pick by Chris. That was going my next pick, but I'll go with the Incredible Hulk.
I'm just gonna put Hulk down, just for space provided. So board is updated. Let me show that to you. Hopefully this comes up right away.
He's very strong.
He
very
is
built.
rather strong. However you want to put it. So you guys can see that now, correct? Yes?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. So Deke went Batman number 1 overall and then just picked Hulk to end the second round. Ben going with Spider-Man Wolverine. Chris with Iron Man Black Panther. And I went with back-to-back picks of Superman and Captain America. So now the draft is going to start off with Deke in the start of the 3rd round, and then it will go all the way to me, and it will again snake back to Deke to end it. So with that, Deke, which direction are you going to go with?
Trying to keep my lady friends voting and keep my diversity on my team well. So we'll go with Wonder Woman.
I would have taken her.
Wonder Woman. So Chris, you're saying if she would have come to you at number 11, you would have taken her there?
That was my next one. I like it, Deke.
Me and Chris are on the same page today.
Yeah, you guys are always on the page with the women, thinking that helps you with the vote.
Yeah.
This one's
No
interesting,
surprise there,
though. This one's interesting in the sense that I think the women, in terms of watching the movies, may be more attached to the actors that play these particular superheroes.
True.
So they may be a little bit more. They may be a little bit more into the guys.
You always try this, Jason. You always try it. Like, maybe pick a woman for one of your teams once. That's just all we're saying.
Hey, you already picked Wonder Woman. I mean,
well, there's some more out there.
There are some more. I don't know if when it comes to me, I have to internally weigh my options and who I think is the best for that spot. So we'll see. We will see. I did say it could be a man or a woman that I'm hoping falls to me at 12 and 13. So we'll see when we get there. Ben, are you following this movement and taking a female superhero, or are you going back with the males?
I'm going back with the males.
Oh my
Deadpool,
gosh.
to me, Deadpool's my pick.
Deadpool.
Yeah. Ryan Reynolds is like probably the perfect person, I think, cast to play that part. Those movies were absolutely hilarious.
I hate you. That was the one I wanted to fall to me. I couldn't take him over Captain America. In my eyes, Ben should have probably taken him over Wolverine. So the fact that he actually lasted for 4 other picks before being taken. The recency bias, the popularity of those movies, the only real rated R one to this point. I know the new Birds of Prey movie, that's more villain, but that's also rated R. But yeah, that one really stinks because I think my 3, had I gotten Deadpool, Superman, Captain America, Deadpool would have run away with the vote. Well, that sucks. Good pick, Ben. Congratulations. Hate you forever. So, Chris, 11th pick. Your 3rd overall. Where you go? I'm really bummed now. I took all the fun out of this draft.
Your voice reflects that. You seem down. You know.
Yeah.
We'll pick you up though.
Yeah. I don't know which direction to go anymore.
I think
lots
just
of women
based on
superheroes
popularity. I think based on popularity, I'm gonna have to go Thor for this pick.
Okay.
Good pick.
Also a good
Hey,
pick.
thanks, Dave.
Mm-hmm.
I get he would have been, so had those 2 fallen and Chris gone a female superhero and Ben gone a different route, I could have definitely gone Deadpool, Thor. So I got to go back to my list. This is a bummer. This is a real bummer.
Jason's on tilt.
Yep. Jason, while you're looking, this is a big update for you. Rory +3 after 5.
No.
+3. So he's only 2 shots ahead of Kepka, and we have a tie at the top. So we're in a battle while you're looking there.
Man, that's
I
a
like
score
it.
I can get.
Someday.
Oh.
Hey, shot a 41 yesterday. I was proud of it for 9.
Yeah. Par 3 courses are getting tougher, huh?
It's +6.
Mini golf.
Oh, guys, I don't know. I'm really bummed.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
No. I'm not going
Halle
to
Berry?
count.
Halle Berry, Catwoman.
2 interesting ones on this list that I'm looking at that I don't know if they would be considered superheroes.
Ant-Man?
Not Ant-Man. He would be a superhero. Where's sorry for the delay here. Gosh almighty.
Chris,
Okay.
is Shoffley still in the lead?
They are still tied at the top. It is Thomas through 2, Shoffley through 1. They're both at 13 under.
Okay, so Shoffley must have parred the first then.
He did, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Any day here, Jason.
Oh, you got somewhere to be. I was really thrown with my 2 picks that, just before being taken. So I'm going to go with Flash. I'm going to go with the Flash.
D-Wade.
Oh. Yeah, I'm not super in love with the pick. It's more of a nostalgic pick for me. I think he was like the freshman football coach that he would always call me Flash, playing like he was an assistant coach for the varsity. And
Wow.
I don't know where it came from, but he always called me Flash. And then when my brother Trevor played, he was still coaching, and he would call him Flash Jr., which I think.
Oh, Trevor, great athlete.
Really,
Yeah.
it really ate at Trevor.
Probably the best
Definitely
one
the
in
best
family.
Well, Chris is up there for sure, but
Yeah. I say, if it was up to me, I say it goes Tom, Carissa,
Wow.
Trevor, Kate, and Jason.
You guys are really, really itching for some votes here, and some love for my family, but I don't think any of them listen. And I try to get them to vote, and then none of them say they have Twitter. So I don't know.
Even Trevor?
Even Trevor, even though I follow him on Twitter.
Yeah, he has Twitter, but he's
he
too
can't
busy
tweet
being
and
a
drive.
dad.
He's a driver. Can't tweet and drive.
This is true. This is true.
Actually, I say Trevor over Carissa. So Tom, Trevor, Carissa, Kate, Jason. All right, that's my final.
That's final.
Lock it in.
Got it. Yep. Lock in that vote. He's got any suggestions for this pick? I'm
Are
truly.
you still haven't picked yet?
I don't want to
just
give a
pick
one of his
suggestion
two.
because I'm
Flash.
right after you. So
Oh yeah, Flash. Duh. I'm not suggesting it. I'm not. No.
Lots
Okay.
of good
Superhero.
women superheroes out there, Jason.
Yep.
No, I'm going, and I'm going to need some help on his actual name, because his name is Peter Quill, but
Star-Lord?
Star-Lord, yeah. And I'm just wondering if, whatever. That's what I said, so that's going to be my pick is Star-Lord. I don't think I'm going to get the vote there because people might be confused with who he is based on that name. But Star-Lord, Peter Quill being sort of the leader of the Guardians of the Galaxy, which are great movies, and now I'm blanking on the actor's name. Maybe Ben can help me out.
I'm blanking on it as well.
Yeah, from Parks and Rec.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I can hear a golf update in the background, and some birds chirping.
He's working on his swing right now. He's looking at swing analysis.
Yeah, sure.
Yep.
All right, so Chris, I went Flash and Star-Lord, Peter Quill. Where are you going to go with the 14th pick, your last pick?
Yeah, I did like Flash. I think that was a good pick, whether maybe you just didn't know enough about him, but I think he'll be a popular vote. But for my last vote, we're going to change the background color here, and we are going Green Lantern.
Ooh. Chris is
Ryan
going
Reynolds'
with
second best character.
Yeah, that's not saying a lot. Not the greatest movies.
No.
I don't know how they could have done those movies better, but the Ryan Reynolds ones were just not good.
Not the greatest.
Good superhero, just a tough concept to put in a movie.
Yeah, I mean, superhero that carries around a Green Lantern, I don't know, doesn't do it
That's
for
all right.
me.
He doesn't carry around a
Well,
lantern.
he's going around
He
the
carries
light.
it around in like pictures of him, like, you know, and of pictures of superheroes. He's like holding a Green Lantern. It's just weird to me.
Gotcha. No, so before the last two picks, the two that I saw that were interesting, or at least one that I now remember, Neo. Would you guys consider Neo a superhero? I know we had talked about them keeping it in the Marvel and DC world, but
Good
outside
dancer.
of that, not that Neo.
Oh.
Neo from the Matrix.
I don't know if
say
I would.
no.
Okay. I mean, I'm not arguing with it. I wasn't going to bring him up because I didn't know if I'd pick him, but now there's only two picks. I think you guys are probably pretty set up. Give me a second. I might think of what the other one was. That was interesting. So Ben, your last pick, 15th overall. You currently have Spider-Man, Wolverine, Deadpool. You son of a. Who are you going to go with for your last pick?
I am going to go with a little bit out there off the board. I'm going to go with Captain America's, the actor, Chris Evans, his initial foyer into the Marvel superhero world. I'm going to take the Human Torch.
Part of the
Fantastic
Four?
Yep.
I love Chris. Chris's reaction is, AKA, I don't like that pick.
There goes Ben again.
That's all right.
I
think the Human Torch is better than Green Lantern, just my opinion. But
I would agree. I think Green Lantern gets a little bit more name notoriety. Human Torch kind of falls into the Star-Lord, where it's like, do you really know who the Human Torch is? And without
his entire body lights on fire.
Right, but without listening to the podcast to know the explanation, because I saw Human Torch on a couple of the rankings, and I was like, wait a second, I remember who the Human Torch is, but now that you say that, yeah, I absolutely remember from the Fantastic Four. So that's just an opinion. I think he might fall into that realm of I sort of know him. Do I really remember him from any movies? And I think that's ultimately what will get voted on is what people think in the movies.
Yeah.
So that leads us to our very last pick. And Deke, do you know who you're going with for the last pick overall?
You're muted.
Come on.
So I don't want to fall into Ben's trap where he always picks somebody that he likes to him personally.
Okay.
But this one is close. I only say that because I don't know if many people will remember this one. The other one is like a cool, sweet name that I just think is a tough superhero.
Like Aquaman.
No, not like that one. So, but I think I just like this superhero way too much to not pick him. So I'm going to go with Dr. Manhattan in The Watchmen.
Does he just do like inpatient calls or?
No, it's all virtual now. It's all virtual.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So why Dr. Manhattan?
I don't know why I was just like enamored with that movie Watchmen and that character in it. I just thought it was.
Is it because he walks around naked the entire time?
I mean, possibly, I guess. The other option I was going to go with was Punisher.
Yeah,
Punisher
Punisher
good.
was up there for me too. You know, as I'm looking at this, the other one that I was wondering if you guys would consider to be a superhero was, where'd it go now? My internet froze up on me. Sweet. Was Blade.
Yeah.
I'll give Blade a
Yeah, he's a Marvel character.
That's a pretty solid comic book series.
I should have asked because I love the Blade movies with Wesley Snipes, and that's I probably
Ryan
would have
Reynolds
gone
again.
there instead of Ryan Reynolds and what's her name, Justin Timberlake's wife,
Jessica Biel.
Biel. Yeah. I like those movies. I would have gone there instead of Star-Lord. I should have asked. Blade is a better choice there. All right, so let's show the board here. This one finished interestingly. I think some people had really strong teams to start, and then it certainly fizzled towards the end because it's the name power is gone. You guys can see this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Deke going with Batman, Hulk, Wonder Woman, and then Dr. Manhattan, so a little bit lighter in terms of name notoriety at the end. Ben having Spider-Man, Wolverine, Deadpool, and again, lighter name notoriety in the Human Torch. Chris going Iron Man, Black Panther, Thor, Green Lantern. I think he has the most name notoriety of all four. And then I had Superman, Captain America, Flash, and Star-Lord. And I think people know Guardians of the Galaxy. They just probably don't know Chris Pratt. Figured out the name. I think they just don't know Chris Pratt's character name, which is Star-Lord, or Peter Quill is his human name. Star-Lord is sort of his given superhero name in the Marvel world. So it's interesting. So the same question as always, guys. Do you think you see anybody's team as a overall front runner other than your own?
This one's pretty even stacked, I think.
I think Chris is just in the name notoriety department. I think his is there. Thor is a really good third round pick. Obviously, Ben, Deadpool is a good third round pick. Could have been a second round pick. Deke with the only female. Chris was all about Wonder Woman, but apparently didn't want to put a female on his team.
Black Widow didn't get grabbed.
I would have gone Captain Marvel over had I picked a female.
Mm-hmm.
But again, same thing. She's been in the Avengers. She's had one movie. I think there's probably more movies to come. I enjoy the actress Brie Larson that plays her in the Avenger movies and then the standalone movie. She's probably the most powerful of all of the female superheroes in general. She's basically the most powerful. I mean, she's the whole reason, spoiler alert, for them being able to compete and win in Endgame and what was I forget the movie before that, but yeah, that's the way I would have gone had I gone a female. Would have been Captain Marvel. So that's how the draft ended up. Everybody's a little light on words today, which makes it great for a podcast.
I see Justin has his hand raised, so after he's done,
Chris.
I'll give a good update.
Oh,
Go ahead,
when I'm sharing my screen, I can't see that.
Oh, thank you, Chris. Thank you for pointing that out. Question, maybe it's just because I'm old, but my wife and I were talking about this just yesterday because we drove by the movie theater. And do movies like have previews anymore? Where do they play those?
What do you mean? Where do they play them?
No, I mean like not like previews like at the movie. I'm talking like I feel like there used to be a way more like commercials and trailers for movies.
Yeah, they put a root menu button actually on your remote control, so you don't actually have to watch the previews back in like 2002.
They put a what on your remote control?
It's called root menu. So when you got the DVD in and they always want to show you the 4 previews.
No. Still not that. I'm talking like if you're watching
TV,
The Big Bang Theory, and the commercials come on. And then usually, or at least I used to remember, during the commercials, they would have a trailer.
Advertising. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's all done in social media now. That's where I see them. And now I see them earlier than I ever did before. Now I'll see like, hey, they just dropped a trailer or a sneak peek for a movie coming out, a year or more from now. And it's like, whoa, this is pretty sweet. Yeah, YouTube and so they'll link them to Twitter or Instagram or whatever. So that's where I see previews.
So it's just because
Corona, I think.
Interesting.
Yeah, everything's you're not seeing as much come out now too, because I don't think they're doing as much right now.
Yeah,
this isn't a recency question. This is just in general because there's not as much basic cable being watched where there's commercial breaks. Everybody's watching shows where there are no commercial breaks. Even the shows that have them, we're streaming them where there are no commercials. So we get rid of that advertising space. So it's all going to social media. So I understand what you're saying, Ben, in terms of coronavirus. Movies are put on halt, but
no, I think you're right too, though, because like if you have a Hulu subscription, you don't get the same commercials as like if you have your local cable company.
Right.
Yeah, because I even have Hulu, like the basic Hulu, and I get a 1-minute ad every so often, but it's never a movie. It's not even shows. It's just, to buy something. But for me, it's all on social media now. And then even now, granted, that's when you're about to watch the show that you can watch a trailer beforehand. So if you don't recognize the name of something, you can quick watch the trailer or the preview just before either renting it or watching it, whatever it may be. So it's certainly different than growing up because you used to see.
Yeah, I mean, we drove by the movie theater and I was like, I couldn't even tell you a single movie that was playing because I had no idea.
So it's really funny down here, at least. It's totally different than the movie theater most of us grew up going to, Rogers Cinema in Marshfield, that, if a movie said it was playing at 7:00, the movie was starting at 7:00 for the most part. Maybe a few minutes late, whatever. But the previews were before that, but the movie was starting around 7:00. Down here, 7:00 would be when the preview starts. And I sat behind this old man and his wife, and this guy was pissed because he kept checking his watch. He kept seeing him throw his arms up like because there was like 5 previews. And then even after that, there was like a little commercial that was like 30 seconds long. And this was all, so we're talking 30 minutes after the posted time of the movie starting at 7. We'll say it wasn't 7, but so the movie didn't start till like 7:30 in this scenario. And this guy was just livid. Like every preview that came on, he was sitting directly in front of me, and I could just see him getting more and more upset at the number of previews and the time that it was taking. Like he had somewhere to be. Like, hey, I only put aside 2 hours to watch this movie, and I have a half an hour of previews. Now I'm going to be late. I was trying to squeeze this movie in. It was so funny to watch.
I actually understand that frustration. If I got a 9 o'clock movie, I don't want to start at 9:32. I want to start at 9 o'clock.
I think previews are a staple of the movie experience. I think if you're a movie lover and you're going to the movies, maybe if you're not a movie lover and you don't go to a lot of movies, then I could see previews being frustrating. But for me, I love seeing the new content.
If you're a movie lover, you should show up a half hour early and watch those previews.
True.
I'm just kidding.
Ben, would you like?
I don't see why they couldn't list 2 times. You know, one time is the start of the previews, the other time is the start of the movie. I mean, they've got to have that stuff timed out.
I like that, Ben.
Yeah,
love that, Ben.
$1 million idea right there.
I don't know that you didn't need to list 2 times, but
maybe 10 G's, but
yeah.
In the sense of what Rogers Cinema does in Marshfield, like the movie time, the posted time is when the movie starts. So you can show up early and you can watch previews, but you need to arrive early. And down here, I think they feed into the culture where everything's a little bit slower in the South and people don't ever show up to stuff on time. And so it's like, oh, I'll see people that even still can't even show up after 20, 30 minutes of previews, and they're still walking into a movie as it's 5 minutes in. Mind blown. It's just a different culture down here. And it's like, well, you're paying all this money because it's not cheap. I almost want to disregard the fact that Deke has his hand up. This is the worst feature ever. Microsoft Teams.
I don't want to interrupt you.
You can. This is an open forum.
Well, I like what you're saying. I don't want to interrupt it.
Ben, you're a dick. So
you should not disregard the hand raise.
Deke, what did you have to say?
Well, I want to say that this probably comes to no surprise to you 3. But, I mentioned that I went to the Dark Knight with Ben, which I believe that was in 2008. I have only been to 1 movie since then in the movie theater. That's honest truth.
What was the other movie?
And that was with my 2 nieces, and it was what was the name of that movie? They sing like a cappella.
Trolls?
A girl group with Rebel Wilson.
Yeah, what the heck's the name of that?
I do know that.
Pitch Perfect.
Yeah,
yes.
That's what it is. Yeah. And it was Pitch Perfect 2 or 3 or something. And so I do not frequent the movie theater essentially ever.
Why? But, is it a price thing? Is it a time commitment? Like what's your reason? If I can ask.
For me, it's just there's so many other things to watch. And sure. the other part of it is that what I kind of talked about, I legitimately have no idea what movies are even out.
So like previews?
I never get hyped up or know what's coming or like want to go see something because I saw an advertisement for it. And I don't sit on YouTube a lot and all that type of stuff. So I just don't even know. So it's like I just kind of out of sight, out of mind type of thing.
Very interesting. What about Ben and Chris? Do you guys go to a lot of movies?
Occasionally, not a lot.
What would occasionally be? Like
once every couple of months.
That's it?
Whoa.
Yeah, not a lot.
That's occasional. That's quite a bit, I would say.
Okay, that's because Ben's also pirating movies and stuff onto his home TV. So he's watching the movies. He's just doing them illegally at home. So to say that you only go to the movie theater a few times is purely because you're taking advantage at home.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Fair enough. That's all the answer I needed. So Chris, what about you?
I guess I go rarely, if that's often or something, or occasionally, maybe once every year or two. I mean, unless it's a big time movie that I think is going to be like, it has to be a big time show for me to go watch it. I mean, I have enough TVs at the house with surround sound that if you need to watch a movie, I'll wait a couple months and it's on video already. So
when you guys are going to the movies, and this is for all of you, is it, like Chris said, a big time movie's coming out? Is that one that you're going to by yourself, with buddies? Are you having to convince your wife that it's a movie that she might like, to get her to go along? How does that work when you guys, well, I guess Deke can't really answer because he hasn't been to the movies.
I've been to 2 movies in 12 years, so I'm out on this one.
Yeah.
I'd go with people more often. It's just we don't live around many people. So, yeah, it's more just me and my wife. I mean, I think the last one we went to, actually, we went to one more. I can't remember what it was, but Black Panther was the one before that. So every other year, maybe.
Is she interested in them, or do you have to convince her to go with you?
No, yeah, for sure. Jumanji was the other one, actually, now that I remember it. So those are the 2 we went to.
Ben, are you having to convince Jackie to go with you, to go by yourself?
No, I don't go to movies by myself for the most part. So the only time I do go are ones where we both are like, yeah, I'd see that.
Okay. I've gone to a few movies now by myself. I actually really enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's just some me time,
I would say that
is the weird time. Yeah, first time is always a little awkward. Like you show up, you're just not real sure. But after that, honestly, same thing. When we have business trips, stuff like that, back in the summer, I used to go to movies too, just by myself. So not a bad way to do it.
If I knew what movies were playing, I would have absolutely no issue going to the movie theater by myself. I actually would prefer to do most things by myself anyway. So
we got some breaking news. Some breaking news here. Rory has double bogeyed 7 and now at +5 overall for the tournament. And it is looking grim for me today, folks.
I like it. Deke put out.
He's not a +5 for the tournament, just for the day, right?
He is at +5 for the day. Sorry. Yeah. He's at +5 for the tournament as well, I think, actually, now.
No, he's at 5 under.
Sorry. Yeah, that's my fault. 5 under.
So Deke and Chris had both put out that it was sort of a runaway, and I didn't want to say anything that I was still in the mix because I didn't want to jinx it. So it kind of seems like maybe Chris and Deke both jinxed Chris's chance. We'll see. There's still a lot of golf left to be played.
A lot of holes left.
He's still only a stroke off.
Xander has taken back the lead. Not that that's as important, but he is back to 14 under.
Xander and Thomas to who wins. If one of them wins outright, I think that person is going to get enough bump in the money to win it all. Deke, just for you being more of a Twitter person, if you follow Lights Camera Pod, that is the Barstool kind of movie section. So they put out lots of ratings and information on new movies, old movies, where to watch them, what you can watch now. Obviously, like Ben said, there's not a ton of new content coming out right now. But I mean, I'm sure you're familiar with the other Barstool platforms. So this is just their platform on movies. So you can get some movie information through that. I follow them. And so that's where you might see some previews. Like I think when they showed the new Batman still pictures of Robert Pattinson in his new suit, I saw that through their platform there on Twitter. So that's Lights Camera Pod if anybody else is looking for a place to follow some movie info. So with that, let's get to wrapping this up here. We like to keep these pretty short here on the weekend with just the draft. There's again one more look at the draft board for our all-time superhero draft. A big thanks out to both Becky King for the draft idea and to Dave Steinbach for the idea to do the draft order live on air. And those two also gave us multiple suggestions, so we'll get to those. And if anybody else has any suggestions, we'll see if we can squeeze those in as well in upcoming episodes. So we'll put this on Twitter like we always do, at @rest_field. See if we can get some Instagram stuff up there as well at the rest of the field is where we are on Instagram, and give us a subscribe on YouTube so that you see all the different episodes and draft only episodes that we're posting. So with that, We are the rest of the field. My name is Jason with Chris Weiler, Deke, and Ben Christensen. Thank you for tuning in. Check us out online. Help us out however you can to get us to some more eyeballs and to some more ears. So thanks for tuning in, and we're out.